Hello, and welcome to Creative Model Podcast. I've got another exciting show for you today, and I can't wait to unveil the guest that I have. I have Super Eno Eka, and she's a business analyst, change manager based in Calgary, Alberta, and she's an award-winning career coach and speaker who's been recognized for helping more than 5,000. Check it out. 5,000 immigrants kickstart their professional careers in Canada. She's a business analyst, content developer. She's a course instructor at the University of Manitoba, and she's the CEO and founder of Any Consulting Incorporated, a boutique consulting firm in Canada. Look, your bio is extensive. It's extensive, and welcome to the show. It is such a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
You are absolutely welcome. I was looking at your bio earlier, and I was like, oh my goodness. I'll tell you this. I actually sent it to my friend. I was like, isn't she incredible? Just because of the many accolades and stuff like that, which I should have read. Actually, I should do this. So I'll tell you this. Her awards and achievements, Eno's awards and achievements include Forbes 30 Under 30 nominee for 2020 within the education category. Alberta Top 30 Under 30 recipient for 2021, Calgary Top 40 Under 40 nominee for 2019 and 2020. And it goes on and on. Like list is exhaustive. It's just like, you're just amazing. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing all right. All the better for speaking with you today. I like the fact that I've started there. Obviously, I've provided a little bit of context into who you are, but really, no one can do it as good as you. Let's hear from you. Who is Eno? What is the essence of your being? And then I'll tell people, why I think you're amazing. Just following on from what I'd already done. But yeah, who are you, and what is the essence of you?
Okay, who's Eno? Like you said, Enoeka is a business analyst and consultant. I lead a consulting company here in Canada, and I'm the founder of Business Analysis School. Where do I start from? Eno is an accountant turned business analyst who found her way, into the tech space through business analysis. Moved to Canada, started a new life in a new country, and was able to find success quickly by the grace of God with hard work and, of course, resilience. I founded my consulting company about 8 months in Canada, and the business analysis school came about as a result of Any Consulting. I started teaching at university, started working as a business analyst. And I knew that I was created for more when I had people reaching out to me looking for help and support. And I did a lot of volunteering within the community. And when people said, we know that you teach, we know that you're an instructor, come teach us, come support us and help us. And that's why, I have been focused on educating people in business analysis. What else about me? I'm passionate about women, developing women. I'm passionate about immigrants as well, because I know the struggle and I know what it's like living in a foreign country. And, I love God. I love people. I love personal development. Like, I'm all about that. I'm all about prosperity, and I'm all about generational wealth. Essence of my being, I find, with my purpose is I believe I've been put on this earth for a reason. And that reason was to help people to live a fulfilled life, right? So for me, it's about helping people live a fulfilled life, the true expressions of themselves. A lot of people come into this world and they don't exactly live that full life, fulfilled life. And that's really what I help people to do through their careers, making the right career decisions, in their businesses as well, helping them with their businesses to grow and to succeed. So I believe that's the essence of my being, is really just to serve others and help them live fulfilled lives.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love what you said there. I think as we were speaking just before we started recording, I was saying just how fascinated I was when I
Yeah.
encountered you. I was like, this is our stock over here at Created for More. We love to speak with people who, understand the responsibility that they have to
Mm.
humanity. They are good I consider them to be good stewards of the gift that has been placed on the inside of them, so they do
Yeah.
what is needful to
Yeah.
ensure that what they have is completely tapped.
Mm.
And you you know part of your story, you started off not in business analysis, you started off in
No.
accounting, and somehow you pivoted, and you've pivoted quite successfully.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to just kind of chart the course a little bit. Just give us a bit of a snippet into, the mindset, because I believe it's all about the mind, right?
It is.
It's the mind that drove you to say, you know what, there is more,
Mm.
and I can do it,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to just take a shot and go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and where did you get to be able to develop you in such a way that you were able to take that leap?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I definitely agree with you that it has always been that mindset. I've always been someone who has been ambitious, driven for more. Never wanted to settle for average. Like, I always knew that. Um, and for me, like, going into the university and studying accounting, it was just like, oh, I'm very good at math. I have A's in accounting. I'm good at math and all of that. So why don't I just make this a career? So I went in and got my degree. But working that 9 to 5 as the accountant and just really seeing the people around me, I just knew that I didn't want to be stuck within that career. Because for me, I wanted something that was more challenging. I wanted something that would give me more exposure, something that would, get me up on my feet day to day, and not, monotonous role. And I just saw a lot of people working around me, and I just didn't want that for myself. So that's where I decided to take my career into my hands and find new opportunities. So I started doing a lot of research, taking different courses and trainings, just trying to find, my sweet spot, where would actually be the best, career path that I could go into without having to go back to school and get another degree. I wanted to just leverage what I had. And I, took some, project management, I took supply chain, HR, and, all of that. And then I took business analysis, and that was it for me. So it was really that, desire for more out of my career, because I just didn't want that monotonous role. And then when I moved to Canada, so I started within business analysis, and just like you said before we we started recording, is that it was not a popular path in Nigeria. Even till date, it's still not. People still ask you, what is business analysis? People are like, why are you wasting your time? Like, go do your ACCA or your ICANN. You're an accountant. My parents too as well, like, what is business analysis? Why are you wasting your time? It's so expensive. Why are you doing this? And at that time, there were no, I had to go to Ghana to write it, because at that time, there weren't a lot of, centers you could go write those kinds of professional exams in Nigeria. So I had to go to Ghana. I was spending a lot of money, but like, I just believe that this would open doors for me. I believe that this is the next big thing, and I want to be one of the first people to get in there. It's better that nobody's in it now than I'm trying to get in when everybody's there. So I did that, and I started my journey in Nigeria. I was getting, I was getting a lot of good, feedback in terms of, finding opportunities and roles, but it was only within like the tech space. So that was the good thing for me, was that, business analysis gave me that access into the tech space, because it was only the tech companies in Nigeria that had business analysis roles. Fast forward to Canada. When I came
let's track it a little bit, because I want people to understand. When we hear things like this, I don't think a lot of people really understand that it is normal, regular people, like, people who are listening now, who understand that they are deserving
Yeah.
of more than their current life experiences
Mm-hmm.
that actually make the switch and do the
Yeah.
things that they want to do. You know, why did you? And so some people would have been in that situation and just resigned themselves.
Mm.
I don't like it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it's paying the bills.
Paying the bills.
Mm. Because so many people fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Perhaps people listening even now, they're stuck in roles they don't like, and they have disempowering beliefs
Mm.
about their capabilities to change the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
What was going on in your mind?
What was going on in my mind? I think it was really just that spirit of, I'm going to make this work, right? There were so many odds against me, like, people around me and, so much negativity around me. But I just had that belief. And then I'd really exposed myself to a lot of people outside of Nigeria. So outside of Nigeria, I had a lot of people that was following and learning from them and realizing that, this is bigger than just having this career in Nigeria. Who knows? I could leave this country one day and it'll be useful for me. So I was thinking bigger than where I was. I was thinking about the future. I used to always, read articles and see, what's the next thing in tech? What's happening in this industry? What's happening within business analysis? I'll join online conferences and listen to, what the trends analysis and the insights were. So for me, it was just being able to just think big and do something crazy, right? Do the crazy, right? What everybody said is impossible. It was just, for me, it was like, I just really want to prove to myself and everybody else that it is possible. And I will not be stuck here. Like, I had colleagues who said, we're doing just fine. We started our families, we're doing well, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with where we are. You're just, I had, I was actually told I was too ambitious. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I want to be ambitious. If you do not want to be, that's okay. But I was just able to set my priorities right and say, I'm going to do this regardless of what it takes. I'm going to make it work for me.
For you. So let's track back before we go forward.
Yeah.
What was childhood like for you? What do you think, contributed to just the audacity that you had at that point?
What contributed to my audacity? That's a good one. Because as a child, like, I'd always been, very intellectual, like highly academic. When it came to academics, I was always great at it. But I feel like one of the things that also gave me that drive was the fact that, I have two elder brothers and I'm the third, but I'm the first girl. And, early in life, I sort of became very responsible for everybody at home, right? I would look after them. I would make sure food is ready. I would do all of that. So early in life, I started to, find myself in a position where, I just wanted to make sure everybody was fine, everybody was okay. And because of that, I felt like, I want to give my parents a better life. Like, once they are older, I want to be financially stable so that I can support everyone in my family. I want to also be able to do all the things that I want to do. And, I lived a good life, during my childhood. So I just didn't want to be average. I had fantastic education. I had great upbringing. And for me, it was just like, I can't let myself, I can't put myself down. And I'm from a very highly intellectual family, where everybody's like a doctor this, doctor that, doctor this. And a lot of times, you just like, everybody's, successful. What is going to be my own thing? And I just wanted to stand out and still be able to support my family. And when I went, moved away from this accounting to the business analysis path, a lot of them were unhappy with me because they're like, it's accounting. In Nigeria, there's only a couple of, professional courses that everybody be like, oh yes, we recognize those degrees. So when I said business analysis, everybody was like, what are you talking about? What is this going to do for you? You want to go hungry and all of that. So my childhood really helped me because I had that push and that drive for success. I had my dad would, we would read the newspaper together, we would talk about politics, we would read books, together. And, my mom would, make me understand that, I should be responsible for my siblings, how to take care of the home, how to lead in her absence. So all of these things sort of gave me that push, and that drive. And I really just wanted to be able to do things for my family. So I knew that I needed, a better career and a better life.
Love it. Love it. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Mom shower. They're always trying to make the girl child.
Right? I'll be depressed and I'll be crying.
Gender inequality to the max. Okay. So you decide to move to Canada, right?
Yeah.
And this is a blank slate. You could, at that point, obviously there was a recognition within you that you could make it in anything you desire, which isn't always the case, right? Because people go to Canada and they're just thinking, I will fit in into what's available, into the system.
Exactly.
Why was your own difference?
Let me be honest with you, Tombra. I arrived Canada 3 days when my visa expired. I got my visa. Everything happened very fast. From when my friend told me about Canada to when I got serious about applying, to when I got my visa, everything was around 6 months. I applied for my visa in 1 month. I got in my visa, right? And that was when express entry was not as popular or as competitive as it is right now. And that was reality for me. I'm like, okay, I have this visa. What am I going to just leave my job, abandon everything, and move to this country? I don't know anybody, have no family here. But I was very determined. But then again, I had that fear, what's going to happen. So, people would tell me so many things. My co-workers would say, you want to go there and wash toilets. You want to go there and wash plates. People are suffering. That place is very cold. You want to freeze. It's very, very cold. People don't go there and all of that. So all of those negative talk, coming to me, but I still had my visa. And I'm like, but I got this, right? And I didn't have to struggle for it or anything. So what I started doing before I arrived was I would go on LinkedIn and I'll look for Nigerians. So I'll filter and look at, I was looking at different cities where I'll probably live. I'll filter with different job titles, different companies, and I'll look through the people that work there. And I'll look at the Nigerians that were there and I'll see, what they're doing, what they've done. I'll look at their profiles. I'll connect with some of them. I'll send them messages and tell them I'm moving to Canada soon. I have these fears. I would like to just have a chat with you. Some would respond, some wouldn't. And I started to talk to a couple of them. And there was this one person that I met on LinkedIn. His name is Ademabo. And then he gave me a book to read, right? And the title of that book is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And he said, everything starts with the mind, right? You have to rework your mindset, right? So you have to control your mind. You have to start with your subconscious mind. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And, I would reach out to him and he would encourage me and say, when you read it, let me know, give me feedback, let's just talk about it. Let's discuss it. Never seen him before. And there were a couple of other people too, as well, that I reached out to and said, oh no, there's opportunities here. You just need to do it well. And there are people who will say, well, it's not so easy and all of that. But eventually I landed here. And when I got into Canada, I said, I told God, I said, I want my case to be different. Like, I do not want to have that story of the people also back home who have told me it's going to be a struggle. I don't want to have that. And I had those initial challenges when I got here because I lost my bag. And, that was kind of unsettling for me moving here, alone, and then finding out that some of my bags didn't get here. And I had to basically just find a way around everything. But one of the things that, really stood out for me was the fact that because I had that mindset of I'm not going to take on any survival job or transitional job, I'm going to work in this career path. I started to align myself with that identity. And then I started to connect with people within that path. And I started to ask them questions. How did you do it? How did you succeed? I started to talk to recruiters. I started to, listen to career coaches and all of that, find how I could, learn from their courses or their books and all of that. And then within 2 weeks, I landed my first job. I'm like, okay, so
Two
this is
weeks.
possible. Yeah. Because when I first got here, like I still met people, other migrants who said, oh, we've been here for a while. Like it's hard. Like you just have to start with this warehouse job or start with this Walmart job. And, you just start from there. You become a supervisor, you get the experience, and then you can, maybe go back to school or do something or start school, do work part-time. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is not why I left my job to come here. And I was so determined. In fact, some of those people were saying, oh, that I'm being proud and all of that, that's how everybody starts. Why do I think mine would be different? I'm like, okay, I'm still going to, focus on my career. My case would be different. I landed that job. And that changed my whole perspective on the mind and just, knowing that this is what I want and going for it. And of course, working on your subconscious mind, like my mentor told me. So that's one of the things that, helped me to stand out. The people that I, surrounded myself with, the people I was listening to, and then the actions I was taking daily action as well. And I was resolute on what I wanted. There was nothing in this world that was going to stop me. And when I got that job, I'm like, okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to, 1, land a 6-figure job. 2, I want to start my own company. 3, I want to buy a house, buy my dream car. And I just listed everything that I wanted, and everything started happening for me. In 6 months, I got that 6-figure job. I was so happy. I got that consulting opportunity, started my consulting company just like that. And everything just started working out for me just how I wanted it, because I was resolute and I worked on my mind first.
Love it. That's such a good answer, because it starts with the mind.
It does.
The fact that, yeah, a lot of people go building the castles, and if the mind, which is the foundational piece, is not sturdy, then it just all comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
So I love it. Absolutely love it. So I like the fact that, if we stop the story here, or if we ended the story, it would still be an amazing story, right?
Yeah.
But when I read on your bio and it says that, I've helped 5,000 immigrants, find careers, get successful. So it seems to me that not only did you, find yourself, you've also been able to help others find themselves too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just want to hear about that. I just want to hear about just, how.
Yeah. That part, whenever I came here by myself. I'm just trying to find my feet, get a job, and just live my life, basically. I didn't have that mission, when I get to Canada, I'm going to help people. Who's going to help me, right? But when I got here and I got my job, there are a lot of these immigrant communities too as well. There's also Nigerian communities. And I'm like, I've gotten a job. This is where I work now. And people were now messaging me like, how did you do it? I've been here for months. I've been here for years. Like, how were you able to actually do this? You've got a job in like 2 weeks. How? Where? And I'm like, same thing, like get your resume done, apply, do the interviews, same thing. And like, I just had 2 interviews, and like, how are you able to do this? This is what I'm doing. I've been working at the warehouse. I've been working as a security guard. And then in the building, my office building, all the security guards there were Nigerians. And I was, it always made me sad. Like every morning and evening, I come into the building and leave. I see them, I say hello and all of that. And then all these people reaching out to me and saying, please help me. I just feel stuck here. You can't imagine what I do. I lift boxes every day. I come back home with body pain. I was a manager in Nigeria. I was a branch team lead. I was an accountant. I worked at KPM, PwC, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why is this happening to our people? Like, we are very educated, so what's happening? So that really was like the wake-up call for me. Like, you found the success for yourself, but you can't keep this success secret with the patterns. You have to teach them and show them how to do it. And with a lot of these people, it wasn't like they didn't even know that they could actually apply to these jobs. It's because they were told that it was impossible. And there are people still today that tell other immigrants that it is impossible. I recently had a student who was driving a tipper truck. here in Canada. I've worked with people who were working call center jobs, security jobs, doing support worker, care home jobs, because they were told that's the only way. So that's why their mind was already fixed there, that this is all I have to do to succeed. After all, I'm in Canada, so I should just be grateful for that. And then when I say, okay, let's review your resume, let's get your LinkedIn profile done, let's look at what you've done and see the kinds of roles that you can apply for. And then one person goes, gets a job, second person, third person, fourth person. We start, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of people. We start to host, Zoom sessions and webinars, and I start to do interview prep sessions, and people are landing those jobs. I'm like, okay. And then, of course, one person gets a job, everybody tells people, everybody else hears, and people start saying, oh, just talk to, you're looking for a job, just talk to her. She knows the recruiter, she knows the group, she knows this. And I'm like, wow. So we started, doing things in a bigger way, bigger form. I started volunteering with those immigrant, centers where immigrants typically go to when they land, so that I can even support more immigrants that way. So that's kind of like the backstory of how, supporting immigrants came about. And now, like today, people, before they moved to Canada, people like, have you spoken to her? Have you seen her? Go to her YouTube channel, like go to her LinkedIn and all of that. So I'm super grateful that, God gave me this opportunity. And I feel like that's like kind of part of my purpose. I didn't come here just for me, but I came here to actually open the eyes of be and, shine the light as to the fact that we are created for more. We can do have more.
Come on, girl. Just say it. Just say it as it is. Just say it as it is.
When I get my students message me like, I just bought my first house, I just bought my second house. You can't imagine. I just landed another job. I just did this. I'm like, oh, this success. Like, I'm like, glory be to God. Thank you, God.
I love it. I love it. How do you remain humble? How do you? It is a valid question, because after a while, when success can corrupt, right? Especially when people really, really depend on you, because the people that you work with, they're really looking up to you. These are not peers. Exactly. They're really looking up to you. So how do you stay grounded?
How do I stay grounded? A lot of times people say, oh, I can't believe, I can talk to you. I can't believe you're this approachable. I'm like, why would I not? When I know what you're going through, when I know what it's like to be in that situation, I know what it's like. I know the feelings. I know, that you can't sleep at night. I know the thoughts that you have. So why would I not, create a way that I can still talk to you. We can still relate in a way that I can understand. Like, there's no way I wouldn't be humble, because I know that everything I have was given to me by God. And I know that my purpose and the reason that I'm here is actually to help and serve people. So there's nothing that would make me too arrogant or not humble, because the truth is, if you're not humble, God will take everything away, like everything. The knowledge that I have, the wisdom that He's given to me, the people that I work with, my businesses, everything, He gave it to me. So I have to be humble, and I have to, serve the people, because I believe that's what I'm called for. There's no way I would not be humble. I'm always inside the Word of God. That's what guides me day in, day out. I have a fantastic relationship with my family. I'm always connected with my family. I have, my support system, my church, my friends, close friends. And I always know that, before all of this happened, I was just one girl sitting in an office one day that decided she wanted more, just tired of that life. And I still remember what she felt like that day. I still remember what she looked like. I still remember, why she was unhappy with herself. So I still remember who that person was, and who I am today. I am just a better version of that girl, still that same person. So there's no way I will not be humble, at all. I will always be grounded.
I love it. I love it. I know you are such a great visionary, because you envisioned your life, the life that you're living now.
Exactly.
So I'm keen to, I'm interested. Like, what is, 10 years from now, what is that going to be like? What have you envisioned?
That's a good question, because when I always have a vision board, and a lot of the things there are really, really checked off, and I'm like, wow, God, you are truly truly, the all-sufficient God. Everything, you have everything in your hands. The next 10 years, um, well, for me, in the next 10 years, I want to have been able to impact more people. I always say this, I'm focused on the impact, more of the people, impacting the people. When you impact the people, everything else will follow, right? The benefits and the goodness of all of that will follow, the blessings will follow. So I'm more about impacting people. And I want my numbers to be in millions, as at, in the next 10 years. I also want to, in the next 10 years, I want to be in a position where I can really impact, the global economies in the terms of helping our people to see how they can build generational wealth, right? I believe that, God wants us to be prosperous. God wants us to be successful because, we are on this earth to be successful, to be rich, right? To be, to build that wealth and to be able to do more for others. We can build churches, schools, hospitals, we can support the needy in the society. So I want to sort of create that movement of, professionals who are Christ-like and who have that vision and, want to impact the world in a bigger way. So my goal is to really impact the world in a bigger way. And I can't wait to see what the next 10 years would look like in my life.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And if you had to pick two of the biggest contributors to your success that you will find in your daily routines, what would they be?
In my daily routines? Okay, I read. Reading and writing, are two things that I would always do. I read the Bible, I read books, and then I write, right? And in my writing, I write in my journal, I document everything that I want to do. I put it down, right? Where I want to be, the future, I put it down, the present, and I use that as a form of prayer. I use that as a form of gratitude. I use that as a form of accountability with myself and to stay centered as well. So reading and writing are two things that I always do daily that I will not take away and have really, really helped me to stay grounded and successful.
I love it. If your life story was condensed into a book, right, what would the title be?
Tapping into your God-given purpose and just really allowing God to direct you. Because what I realized is, and that's something that, because I had that realization, right now I'm very careful as to when to saying, oh, I want this, or this is what I desire, because everything I have said that I wanted has happened for me. And sometimes I forget, right? So it's just that understanding that we're so powerful, right? And then God also wants the same things you want for yourself. So the things you want for yourself, God wants them for you as well. So being able to tap in, like, is so important. Like when I came to Canada, one of my friends that was we served together during NYSC reached out to me on WhatsApp. You're in Canada. You said you would be in Canada. You said you were going to go to Canada. Do you remember when you said it during camp? I'm like, I can't remember. You were always saying it, right? This happened for you. When at my consulting company, my mom said, do you remember that you always used to say you wanted a consulting company, and it happened for you? Like everything I have said I wanted has happened. So just being able to tap into your God-given purpose and I just allow him to lead you, allow him to guide you. It might not make sense to you or even to the people around you, but as long as you're tapping in, as long as you're taking that inspired action. So I think those are titles that would correlate with my life and everything that has happened to me.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. And in my final question, I promise this time. So I feel like we need to kind of open up a little bit and include. Okay, so if someone's listening to you now and they're like, it's all good for Enna. She said her she had the resources back home in Nigeria. She's from a great family. She didn't lack.
Yeah.
I am sitting down here. I'm listening to this podcast, Created for More. And Enna is sharing her story, but I don't have necessarily the means. Where do I start? Like, where do I start in starting to build that life vision for myself?
Hmm. Um,
It's a jump question.
yeah, it might seem like, oh, I don't have anything for me, but I believe that we all have a sort of blank canvas as to like what we want to achieve once we at least become adults and where our parents are not making those life decisions for us. I found that immediately I became an adult and had graduated university, I realized that I had to make certain decisions for myself, and that even though growing up, my parents made some decisions for me, and they had advised me in some way, I needed to actually ask myself, what do I want? Right. So, for that person who's listening, what do you want? Not what your parents want, not what society wants for you. What do you want for yourself? Right. And then think about your future. When you close your eyes, envision what your future would look like for you. And I always like to tell people to do that and then work backwards. What are the things I need to do to help me get there? Right. So if you need to get education, find ways to get education. Even right now, we've seen that even outside of the traditional education, which is going to university or college, there's so many ways you can get educated. So if you do not have that, get that. If you do have education, then you want to see how you can start to build experience within an area. So you want to look at where the world is, how things are going, and find what excites you. If there's anything at all that excites you, whether it is within entrepreneurship, whether it's within trades, whether it's within the corporate sector, whatever excites you, hold on to that, because that's what you're going to actually love and enjoy doing. So find work in that area that excites you. Read books. I always say this all the time, like read books, learn from people's experiences, find people you can learn from, like coaches or mentors that can be coaches and mentors to you. That is also so important, because as you grow through life, there are people that you need to seek advice from that would guide you through, through life. And then really having a strong relationship with God is like so important. Like I will not take God out of anything in life. So having that strong relationship with God is so important as you start to build and map out your life. And a lot of the things that you want for yourself might even seem unattainable, might seem crazy to you. But knowing that it is possible, right? You've heard my story, you've seen me or seen something about me, you've heard about Tombra, you've seen, and you can hold on to that and say, that is confirmation that it's possible. So what I would advise you to do is create that vision for yourself, hold on to it, and start to take action, no matter how small it is. Just take those daily inspired actions, and of course, see how your life, transforms.
That's a perfect ending. Thank you so much. You've been an incredible guest. Thank you so much for sharing so much wisdom. I know that my people are better because of it. Guys, you guys need to listen again, share, do all that stuff, because there's just so much wisdom embedded in everything that Eno said. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.